The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis-style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4-meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. Welcome to the STL Hockey Fan Podcast. I am Corey. This is Jesse. And we've got Blues news and topics. The first one I want to get into, I'm pretty stoked about it, is Logan Mailloux.
Yes, sir.
This guy is killing it. A complete 180 from beginning of the season, where he's more of a liability. He had. I don't know if it was him or Tyler Tucker, but I'm pretty sure it was him. They had like a miscommunication in a recent game that ended up in a goal. But like, other than that, he's been pretty solid defensively. He's been getting over 20 minutes. He's been getting more minutes than like Parayko and Fowler, and those guys are literally your top defensemen. And I don't know. I'm just really excited for the kid. I think he's doing awesome.
No, I completely agree. That pass to Snuggerud last night to start the scoring
Yes.
was a beautiful pass right through the zone. You know, it's like that is a very, very good pass and educated too. You know, like take that shot, get it over to Snuggerud, who's standing in Ovechkin's office, and
Yes.
and then boom, hits it off the pipe and it's in. It was a beautiful goal, beautiful setup. And to add to, as of like 3 days ago, I think it was, Mayu had played 12 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. He's a +4 now. This was before last night's game, and then averaging a total of 22 minutes and 24 seconds on ice.
That's insane.
It is, and especially coming from the beginning of the season, where I mean, the fans wanted to burn effigies of the man, you know, like, and I may have been one of them, but he's definitely turned that corner, and I'm not sure if that time in the AHL or time up in the box with the old boys or what shifted. Maybe he shook the nerves or something, but he's in it now, and he's looking great.
Yeah, he is. I would I don't know. I would like to think it was after the the AHL stint, because like, of course the entire team didn't do incredible.
Right.
Like he's not he doesn't have like a crazy chance to succeed in that kind of environment.
Mhm.
However, like, he wasn't the liability, and he he was making good plays. He wasn't making passes like that yet.
No.
But he's making good defensive plays. I feel like he was just more focused on that, and he got it.
Yeah.
Now he's like jumping up in the play, and like you said, the only word that I can think of is like, that's an elite pass.
Yes.
Like, and to an elite shot. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's completely flipped right now.
Yeah.
Of how it was, in the sense of like fans perspective,
Mhm.
because Habs fans right now apparently are not stoked on Bolduc. He has not scored in quite a while, and Mayu's over here like actually contributing.
Yes.
So we can also talk about the pass from Mayu to Snuggerud in Ovi's office. Like, do we see like a passing of the torch of like where this thing is headed? Because that shot from
Yeah.
anywhere, to be honest,
Mhm.
is lethal. Um, but he's gotten a couple from right there.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing to touch on is these are the babies, and they're
Yeah,
doing well against a pretty stacked Washington Capitals team. Um,
heavy, heavy team.
yeah, heavy team. I mean, if you got Tom Wilson on the ice, there's already a problem with that.
Yeah,
So, even when Snuggerud came up and kind of bumped him on the back, and
yeah,
then there was a ruckus there, and they
yeah.
carried into
Wilson
the
looked like a
box.
snapping turtle. He just like turned around, grabbed him. But
Yeah,
what's hilarious is like it just looked like Snuggy was just like taunting him. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing, buddy? Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna get massacred. But anyways,
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, it's just these are the babies, and it's good to see this as far as the future of the Blues go. And it's we're going to be looking at a different team by the time spring training rolls around. We know this, but to see this new, not I wouldn't say the core yet, but to see him starting to shape up, it's pretty impressive. And I will say this, a little side note, but Jake Neighbors needs to stay out of the box. He does more good on the ice than he does in the box, and he's been getting a lot of penalty minutes lately. So just want to throw that out
Now,
there.
I completely agree with that. Now, how many? What's the ratio of? I guess you would say good penalties versus bad penalties. I mean,
Right.
you want to say all penalties are bad, but
Mhm.
like if you're going out to like rough up a guy because he was messing with your rookie or
Yeah,
something like that,
that's
like that's
true.
respectable.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think? What's the ratio of that?
That is a good question, and I didn't really even consider that or look at like the stats of when that guy bumped into Hofer and he went after him and then he got a
Yeah,
penalty type deal, right? Is that like more of a leadership role where he's stepping into and taking those penalties as far as good ones go? But even I think last night, there's like one or two that I was just like, "Oh, okay, dude, can't be doing that." I
yeah.
forget what the actual call was.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, save for last night because last night I feel like there were just a ton of penalties
Yeah.
altogether. I feel like you kind of got to give everyone in that game a mulligan because I mean, hell, you had Jimmy Snuggerud, Robert Thomas, and Stenberg. Stenberg was in the box for fighting,
I mean,
which really it was him doing a lot of blocking and tugging
I can show
and
you my
falling.
screen right now, and those are all the penalties from last night. All right.
My
So
God.
just a couple. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
insane, and
Mhm.
what we had, like, there was 3 in the box for the Blues, 3 in the
Yes.
box for Caps,
Two
like
in the box for the Caps. And that's why I was curious as to why they stayed even strength, because three in the box for the Blues and two for the Caps is like, shouldn't somebody get a penalty there? But
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe somebody was given an instigator or
Yeah.
something like that that evened it up, but,
Uh-huh.
speaking of evening it up, the Blues immediately take a penalty,
Yeah. Yeah.
after, that
Yeah.
whole scrap,
Yeah.
and, you think they're gonna get what was it, a 5 on 3, yeah?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
nothing,
Nothing.
and then nothing.
Okay, so that very last one was too many men on the ice served by Jakey. And I don't know if he was the extra guy on the ice or not, but he served it. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense.
Hmm.
So, um, getting off of the penalties and stuff, I do want to throw out, the Stenberg thing, the
Yes.
fact that he did step up. Now,
Hmm.
it was not a good fight for
No,
him,
no, no.
but he dropped the glove, one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. One of them.
Um, yeah, he was still holding on to the guy's jersey
Hmm.
with his other one on, but
Hmm.
I, just that whole thing, like I think back to playoffs against Winnipeg, and everybody's got a partner. I don't remember what game,
Yeah.
and one of the tallest players that Winnipeg has is just bullying around Jimmy Snuggerud.
Oh,
Um, and like, I don't know if in that moment Snuggy's trying not to get a penalty
right.
or whatever. But I going back to the Stenberg thing, he didn't shy away. You know
No.
what I mean? Like
No. Yeah.
one, he hit him, it was kind of a high hit.
Yeah, it was.
Like
And he
that.
said that in the post game interview. He was like, I
Oh,
might have
did he?
leaned into it. Yeah. Well, he was getting well, he got first star last night, right? So
Yeah.
that's that post game interview. But yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, as soon as it was over, like I closed last night and
Hmm.
I had to open this morning. So like as soon as it was over, I was like,
Oh,
"Pop,
done.
gotta go."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a high hit. And the game's fast, whatever.
Hmm.
But like who was it? I can't remember who he hit.
Ryan
I
Leonard.
don't That guy, that
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
He comes back at him, he hits him, a little cross check to the back,
Hmm.
and, like, Stenberg just pretty much starts whacking, you
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And then gloves come off, and he goes for it, he's even smiling,
Hmm.
in the box, like, I don't know, I think that is a way better, more respectable, um like, way of handling that
Yes,
scenario, if you
yes,
ask me.
yes.
Like,
I
Snuggie,
wonder.
I understand he was being towered over by a monster, but,
Yes.
like, you give me a shove, give me something, buddy.
Right, exactly. And Otto's brother Ivar is part of the upcoming draft, right? And maybe we can
Mhm.
get little brother action because,
Dude,
if Otto starts making a name for himself in this next week or two, and because even then, as fans, especially Blues fans, we just want to see that in the team as far
yep,
as them showing up for their guys. And
yep,
he did that last night. He didn't shy away. He didn't, get scared. He said, "Okay, let's
right.
go." Yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool because you're seeing that fight from, Stenberg, obviously Mayu,
Yes.
um, and it was crazy in the beginning of the season, if there was, like, a scrum or something, Mayu would just throw the gloves off, grab a guy by the collar, and start, like, throwing him out. It's like,
Yeah.
geez, I think that was a little harsh.
Right.
But, like, even Hof will come out and do something if he
Yeah.
has to. Obviously, neighbors, Robert Thomas was getting into it, like you said, that's what you wanna see, just some fight,
Yeah.
like, we like the competitive play right now, the fact that
Hmm.
all the games are close, but you can't. I think everybody saw, and this is where we'll dip into just the NHL. I think everybody saw the Austin Matthews hit
Yeah.
and nobody responding,
Hmm.
um, and now the entire NHL is like, we don't want to do that. Okay.
Yes.
Like, make that a point, fight for your guys.
Right, and we seen that almost immediately. The game after, I think we touched on it a little bit too. Maybe the Winnipeg game when uh, who was it? Tucker went after the guy that was much larger than him, or was that Anaheim?
Yes.
It was the
Yes.
Anaheim game. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, no,
so,
you're
yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah. But I mean, and not to mention it was Bobby Plager's night last night, so what a night
Yes.
for everybody on the team to just be like, no, you're not doing that. I mean,
Yep.
they were in the middle of showing what happened, and then boom, another scrap breaks out, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in the center of the ice, and it's like, yes, please, on Bobby Plager night, let it rip. Yeah.
Yes. So let's see. I do want to talk about, um, there was a collision between Robert Thomas and, God, I'm bad at this. Who's the guy?
It's like Pierre Loup Dubois or
Oh,
something like
Dubois.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Dubois. Yeah, it's right here.
So
It's Pierre Luc Dubois. Yeah.
So what I saw there, like, I felt like it was avoidable. Um, and again, the game happens fast. That's my ultimate cop out.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, Thomas, I don't know. What's his name? Jim Montgomery.
Yes.
He said that Thomas is occupying that space. He doesn't have to give it up.
Hmm.
Um, and like, it doesn't look like Thomas is, like, I don't know, jolting backwards,
Right.
to hit him, so I don't know why there was an immediate interference call there.
Right.
Um, but then you just see Dubois, like, he just latches onto him and then takes him down. Um, and
Oh,
then he can't brace himself. I'm
nope.
pretty sure he hits his face on the ice. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
yeah, and then is out of the game.
Yeah.
Um, so do you see anything different?
I that's the way I looked at it. I mean, Dubois had his stick wrapped up in Thomas's right arm, and I think he even at one point had his stick on both sides, so kind of like holding him against him, and then just boom, dropped him on his face.
Yeah.
The Dubois did not get any extra like slap on the wrist or fine from that today.
Nope.
Which I was kind of surprised, I guess, just because it looked like intent to hurt.
Yeah.
But to agree with you, it does move very fast. Like in slow motion, yeah, the world stops and you can see every minor detail. But these guys
Right.
are flying at 1,000 miles a minute, all hopped up on the what is it, the smelling
Smelling
salts.
salts.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're not even thinking about the now; they're in the future. And so when something like that happens, I doubt that old Dubois or whatever would think I can grab him and throw him on his face right now.
Right.
If it was Tom Wilson, yes, I would say that he had
Yeah,
those
I wouldn't put it
intentions.
past him.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the only thing that I could think of him trying to, like, grab him and he takes him down is that he's already falling,
Yes.
so if you're falling, just as a human being, you're gonna kinda grab for the closest thing because you don't wanna fall.
So to I want to I forgot about something. If you watch that clip again, that dude is actually sliding into Thomas's skates with his skates, and they
Mm.
call it something, and I'm not sure what it's called, but
What, Slewfoot?
yeah, slewfoot, is that what they're calling it?
Yeah,
And
well, where they kinda, like, kick it out from under you.
yes, and so Buchnevich, right before that happened, said, "Watch out for the slewfoot," and then boom, that guy turns around and does it right to Robert Thomas. So it was already happening on the ice. It had happened enough to where one of the main guys on the team said, "Hey, watch out for this because it's occurring," and then boom, that happens 5 seconds later.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
okay.
that's something that our broadcasters went back and touched on, and so it was information to me. I didn't know they had a name for it or whatnot, but yeah, good on them to bring that up.
Yeah, I tried to look for the Curbside podcast last night, but I went to bed before it was even out. That's
Yeah.
not a thing for me, like, I didn't know.
Right.
So other than all the absolute chaos that was on the ice,
Bedlam.
yeah, one guy, kept his cool and shut it down, and that was Joel Hofer.
Yes, sir.
Um, he got his, I believe, 6th shutout.
Yep.
He's 2nd in the league in
Yep.
shutouts. Um, and I can't help but think this is this is the new era. This is the new goalie. This is the new starter. He's kind of making his name here, and I, you know, I wonder if we end up getting rid of Bennington. Me and you have talked about this,
Yeah.
and do they like, here's another little thing for you. Do we get rid of Bennington? Bring up whoever,
Yeah.
whether it's Zarenko or
Hmm.
Cranley, whoever, and see if we can get them to adapt the same away from the net play that Hofer has,
Yeah.
because it disrupts the opposing team's offense. Do you think we try to move into that? And then I'll give you another one. Do we think that if that does happen, the rest of the NHL sees that and we see a whole bunch of it, and then rule changes? Go.
Okay. Well, let me bring up Hofer's puck handling real quick because if you recall the beginning of the season, there was a couple times where he got a little too big for his boots and
Yeah,
got scored on with a wide open net
for sure.
because he was a little too sloppy with it. But that was at the beginning. And, one of the reasons that Team Canada keeps choosing Bennington is his puck handling skills. So is that something that our goalie coaches, talk about or practice more?
True.
Is it something that we wanted out of our backup goalie because Bennington was so good at it, so we chose the next guy that was decent at it? But overall, you take away the first part of the season, and Hofer's numbers really speak for himself. It's not just the six
Right.
shutouts; like he's doing pretty dang good. Yes,
Yeah.
there's that first couple of months where we were all like, "Burn it down," you
Yep.
know. Is he playing like number one? Absolutely. I feel he is. That dude is cold as ice. When he was walking off the ice last night, because he was one of the last ones off the ice. But I mean, his stare through his helmet was just that. It's
Stone face.
it's reminiscent of his rookie card, honestly. It's like this dude's cold stare right there. Like
That's a
it's
killer.
yeah. And so he hasn't changed. So they definitely said, we'll go with this dude. Now, future talk. Yes, I see Bennington being gone this summer. I think that he's going to end up with the Oilers. I have this feeling. I don't know what it is, but they're struggling in the goalie department. They may have too many, hands. Like they're already paying Tristan Yari and whoever their other goalies are. But,
Yeah.
I could see them making some moves, but also uh I don't know, like salary cap is playing a big thing right now with a lot of these teams. So back to Bennington for a moment. I don't want to see him go. Um I had this discussion online today about retiring numbers and retiring Blues numbers. And there was like people throwing names and blah blah blah. And somebody said that it was an insane take for the Blues to retire Binnington's numbers. And I'm like, now hold on, how is it an insane take here? Because I mean, he's the most winningest goalie that we've ever had. He's
Yeah.
played the most games for the Blues as far as the goalie goes. He brought a cup to this franchise in his rookie year. I mean, the dude is going to be a St. Louis legend no matter what happens after this summer.
Yeah. What more do you want from him?
No, exactly. And he's what, 6, 7 years into this, franchise. And
Yep.
so it is time to start looking at who's next, right? Same with Shen. We got rid of Shen. Now who's the next captain?
Yep.
Because we have people coming down the pipe here and we have to make room for them. And even that who is it? Our defenseman in the minors. He got the OHL uh
Oh, you're a check.
yeah, he got it
Yep.
again. Yeah, defenseman of the month. That's the second time he's had that. So future's bright. Um, Building the team around Hofer. We've had this discussion. Why do they play better in front of Hofer? I don't know. You know,
No clue.
no clue. We don't know what happens at team dinners or anything like that. But
Yeah.
no disrespect to Bennington whatsoever. But I think this is Hofer's team now. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think that shift is happening everywhere.
Yeah.
It's no longer Shen's team. Somebody else
Mhm.
is going to pick it up. They can say Robert Thomas, but like I I I want to say I noticed in the whenever they're in the box and Snuggy is barking at Wilson and they're all like having a great time in there.
Mhm.
Uh Thomas didn't say a word.
No, yeah, he's quiet. Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I just don't know if you can like you can offensively, show that leadership, sure.
Mhm.
Um but like I don't know, I feel like he should have been barking too. He should have been,
Yeah.
a part of that. Um but, there are other guys, Pareko, Neighbors, there's a lot of guys that could, take that shift.
Mhm.
Um, who do you think, if you have anybody in mind, would be that next goalie? Like, you have Hofer as your starter, who's your backup?
Well,
Do
I'm
they go
not.
out and get somebody? Do they bring somebody up?
So, like, as far as I know, I mean, even just to touch back on Edmonton for a moment, if there was a good goalie, I think they'd probably have him by now. If there's somebody
Fair.
readily available. Coming down the pipe, I'm not certain if you move somebody up from Springfield or bring somebody in new. I don't know. I think that's a question for Steiner now because
Yeah.
even Army can't answer that. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with our prospects, and when it comes to the goalies either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't dig too much into that.
Well, I will say what I have seen whenever it comes to Will Cranley, his performance in what was it, like the prospect tournament and
Hmm.
the like training camp, he had some good games. I really liked him, but I think the guy that would have been the automatic is the guy who got picked up on waivers from Buffalo, and that's Colton
Yeah,
Ellis.
yeah.
He would have been the guy.
Well, who is it? Vegas Golden Knights, they have their third goalie who is now no longer injured, but also brings a 12.5 million cap hit. And so they can't
Oh my
play,
god,
they can't pay him. Their cap is already overextended.
that's
And I love it for Las Vegas just because what for the past 6 years they've played those games with the salary cap, long-term
yep,
injury list. Matt Stone plays one regular season game, comes back prime for the playoffs. Like
yeah.
they were the team that took advantage of those rules and regulations for the most part. And now it's coming back to bite them. And from what I've heard, their goalie, I can't remember his name. I was talking about it yesterday, but he's not good either. So like there's
That
three
sucks.
guys and they're just in a bad spot. So I think goalies like I don't know, there might be some kid out there, but
Man,
yeah.
they really just sprayed and prayed whenever it came to goalies, huh?
Hmm.
That's wild. Okay, well,
Yeah.
so our next game, that is the Sharks
Yes, Celebrini's
tomorrow.
in town.
So, what's our series record?
Ugh.
Let's see. I can find that out. Drop of a hat. Okay, so there are going to be two games. We have currently only played one, and they won that one in OT on March 6th.
I was gonna say it's pretty
Um,
recent. That was the Anaheim
yeah,
weekend.
every game
Yeah.
is in March.
Yeah.
Um, so March 6th, and then tomorrow, March 26th, and then March 30th.
They played the Sharks again on the 30th.
Yep.
Ah,
And that'll be the
nice.
final time this season.
Okay.
Yep. So let's see.
Well,
Things are things are pretty even. Um,
yeah.
oh, this is crazy. Okay, so I'm looking at the game center kind of preview thing, and it says players to watch. For points, Logan Mayu, he's got 4. Um, and then goals, Jordan Kyrou, he's got 2. And then assist, Logan Mayu, he's got
Yeah.
4. Like now, and I understand the points and the assists; those are equaling out into each other. But like
Right.
Logan Mayu, his name, his face keeps popping up. So
Yeah.
I'm really stoked for him. Just coming full circle now.
I do think it's
Um,
funny the players to watch, and they mentioned Kyrie with those 2 goals because they
yeah.
were empty net goals. So
Yeah, yeah, they were. I didn't even
yeah,
think about
yeah,
that.
yeah, and like,
Wow.
well, and that was it cracked me up last night too because in the his last empty net goal, it was Buchnevich and Kyrou coming down the ice. Bucci passed it to Kyrou. Kyrou takes the goal. Last night it's Bucci and Kyrou. Kyrou
Yep.
takes the goal, but it was a little sloppy at the last second, so he kind of just had to take it.
Yeah,
But
old generous
yeah,
Bucci.
yes, yes,
What a good guy.
right,
Um, so yeah, so okay, back to the Sharks here.
yeah,
So from what I saw, practice lines, looks like Hofer is in net. So I think we're going with the whole if you get a shutout, you get the next
there you
game.
go, yeah.
Um, so I didn't see Thomas on there. Now I saw something where Monty was saying he
He's
passed.
healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, he passed concussion protocol. He's healthy. So I guess game time decision. We'll see. But
Right.
they had Dvorsky on the top line, and then they had Druin on the third line in Dvorsky's spot.
You
Um,
know, I will say about Dvorsky, I was a little more excited coming back from the Olympics than I think I should have been, because he's been pretty reserved lately. And even just, he's making passes and stuff, but he's not out there like he was in the Olympics, I feel,
I agree.
Yeah.
I was actually going to kind of touch on that. He's
Mhm.
been, I don't want to say invisible, because he's
Yeah.
had a couple of like moments where he's like right at the net. I think last night he had one where he was like right in front of the net. He tried a little like backwards backhand just to, try to
Mhm.
get it in. It didn't go in, but like it was close. Other than that, like you don't really see him a whole lot.
No. Well, and I mean, you have one of the best players in the world, Ovechkin, and he only had 2 shots on goal too. So,
True. Oh, hey,
yeah.
real quick though,
Mhm.
on Stenberg's goal, who
Yeah.
passed it to him?
Who passed it to Stenberg? Was it?
Yeah,
I'm not
I
certain.
think I think it was Devo.
Let's see. I got it right here. Um, Well, and before I forget, I do want to say about Ovechkin missing his 2 shots last night. He has
Oh yeah,
still yet to score on Joel Hofer. So Hofer's one of like 20 some people remaining in the league that Ovechkin has not scored on.
that's
Now,
crazy.
as far, yes, assists Dvorsky and Bergeron. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So he's I guess he's just doing the little things, but
yeah,
like um I'm just happy he's gonna do it in a clutch moment, like third period to get the
yes.
score, a
Hmm.
2-goal lead. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I'll take it. Thank you, Devo. Um,
Yeah, I haven't looked at his time on ice or anything. I don't know if it's been reduced or if they're still playing with it or what. I don't know. But we
well,
only have what, 10 games remaining of this season? 12 games?
I think it's 12 games. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
it's winding down.
let's see, Dvorsky. Yeah, he's at 12:53. Um, the only person that I think has less than him is Otto Stenberg.
Yeah.
Um, and wow, yeah, so that's insane.
Hmm.
And I just want to kind of go through ice time. I like this stat.
Yeah.
Um, so Mayu 20 minutes 51 seconds.
That was last
Uh,
night. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Broberg 22-27.
Mhm.
Um, those are the most, and then you have Fowler at 20 and 21, just
What
30
was
seconds less than
Bucci's?
Mayu. Huh?
What was Buchnevich?
So Bucci, where you at, Booch? Oh, there he is, very last. 17:31. So
So
kind of
he's dropped
average.
down a little bit, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
he's not in the well. And I was gonna say he's not in the 20s, but nobody is.
right.
Um, it seems like the highest is 1802, Dylan Holloway.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but yeah, I see a lot of like mixing, matching, and like whenever we need it, he's throwing certain guys out there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
I did see a
um,
clip from ESPN 101 this morning that talked about the team with Robert Thomas and without Robert Thomas. And without him, we not very competitive. We're not very competitive. With him, he actually puts an edge on it as far as goals and everything. So, yeah.
so what you're saying is we need him tomorrow.
Yeah. Against that young caliber of a team with who do we got? Will Smith, not the Men in Black guy, and then Celebrini coming through. I mean, I don't know what their record has been the past couple days. Um, I don't know if you've made a reel about that yet, so I haven't watched it.
I have not.
All right.
I
That's
need to.
your half of
I'll
my
get started.
information is doing those. So
That's hilarious.
yeah.
I'll make sure to get back on it.
Perfect.
Um, so I'd say we can go ahead and wrap it up there.
Wrap it.
A good little stretch of games here. They're doing well. What a crazy time to do it. Um, it's
Shh.
it's very possible, very heavily possible that they do not make the playoffs. So
Do you
I
want to know
say,
the odds right now?
man, yeah,
All right. So currently we are in a 4.1%, which is up from 1.7% the other day.
hey,
So I'll take it.
boosting the odds. The boys
Yes.
are. Well,
Yeah.
let's hope for more. I of course want to see them win. I've
Hmm.
I've said this everywhere. If you're rooting for your team to lose, you might be a crazy person.
Yeah.
Um, so from here, just enjoy the hockey while we've still got it. Because after that, it's gone until October.
Yes, sir.
All right. Everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you, Dogtown Pizza, for sponsoring us. Thank you, I-70 Sports Media, for helping us out, getting us out there. Love you guys. Let's go Blues. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4 meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.